Well, good morning, everybody. It's John Seville here with your executive summary for stock setups for today, Tuesday, and we'll just get Skype out of the way there. Okay, so the open range was obviously set on Friday, a high of 2052, low of 2041. We did not break open range yesterday, so we are still in neutral mode. The volume was 6.5 billion on Friday, only 3.39 billion on Monday, so very low volume, very little action. Now, that wasn't to say that we didn't have big action in some of the stocks. Obviously, the big one to talk about is SRPT. I mentioned that this was my favorite stock. Obviously, one that we'd bought long back at when it was back at 11 and change. The calls on, and sold those last week, and then bought calls on this one, cycled back into the calls on this one yesterday. So I sold those on Friday, cycled into new calls yesterday morning, and picked up the May. I picked up the May $15 calls. I was also holding the June $15 calls, but cycled back into the May ones. And those did extremely well. I think they rallied 50% from the open, and obviously the stock itself up 20.6%, sorry, on 7 million shares. Now this came after a whole slew of UCLA doctors had wrote to the FDA urging for the approval of their drug with their hearing coming up in April. So obviously very strong close, very strong money flow. We'll be excited to see how this one goes today, but already some great profits in the bank on that one from the first trade, and then adding another double-digit return yesterday. Okay, so there's SRPT. Hope you were in that one. Now also MKTO looks great. I've talked about this a few times, but it's just crossed through its 50-day moving average in bullish fashion, has held beneath it. You've got all the moving averages coming beneath. So MKTO is looking really solid as well. I don't hold a position in this one actually, so I'm possibly looking to get into this today. But I do have a whole list of some really exciting stocks that I found in last night's scan. I call it my Easter egg list, and I'll be talking about that tonight in trading room, so don't miss it. So anyway, MKTO is one though that is certainly up there. Obviously, another one of the stocks we've been following on the long side. I actually sold out of this. It hit my target, but it is pulling back to support. My target was up in the $18 range, and it did hit that. But this could actually be going for another run. If you're still holding that, EGL is looking strong as well. And last on the review list is KPTI. KPTI also having a very strong day yesterday. And the day before, up 7.22% and 6.97% yesterday. The volume's starting to weaken, so once again I would just be looking at raising the stop. In fact, looking at that, you can see the 20-day moving average is coming up. It's at 747, so you could get away with raising it to 743. But this looks like it's probably going to punch a little bit higher, and certainly look for its second target around 983. And one last one, of course, that is definitely worth taking a look at is TNXP. Now, it's really converging here really, really nicely, and looks like it's going to squeeze for a... It's got, again, it's got good insider buying, it's got institutional buying, it's got the Twigs money flow divergence. Those are kind of the attractive things about it, and the risk reward is pretty good. It's looking at our $3.41 target with a 253 entry criteria. That's a 3.52 risk reward ratio. So certainly like that one. Okay, now in terms of the new stocks, my favorite speculation today, other than some of these other ones we've got brewing in the midst, is PTCT. Now this is interesting. It's a biotech company, and I guess they had a failure to file, so one of their SEC filings with the FDA or something wasn't quite substantive enough that they got a failure to file letter. That shocked the market and had a big decline. But let's have a look at the stock on the inside. You can see we've had some insider action just recently, only small, just about 12.5 grand. But when we have a look at the institutional action, we've actually got quite a lot of buying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buys and only one sell. So that's quite a good bias towards the buy side, and obviously it's a very, very cheap stock. So the risk reward is also very good. So I'm looking for, kind of a break at 634 as the entry criteria, so we can just get above these level of resistance, which is just above us, and looking for an entry. So yes, and an exit criteria of 747 as target 1 and 1043 as target 2. Now, the stop criteria I talked about in the email was 593, and so that gives us a risk-reward ratio at target 1 of 2.75, so there's our kind of our 3-to-1 reward risk ratio. But the second target gives us a ratio of 9.97, so almost 10-to-1. So I talked about the May or June $7 calls. Those are currently trading at, let's have a quick look at, 95 cents over for the May, and $1 for the June. So obviously the June is what I would look at, just depending on which you can get the better price for when trying to put the bid in. But yeah, like it a lot. WAC is the other one, and again, this is quite interesting, because we have we got a lot of the biotech stocks. In fact, almost all the stocks on my list at the moment are biotech. So this was just a bit of a change. It's obviously the financials, and WAC got a short float of 20. Oh, by the way, PTCT, the stock we talked about before, has a short float of 34%. So it could also be subject to a very sharp short squeeze. Anyway, so WAC got a short float of 27%. No insider buying, but it's got big institutional. So again, we'll have a look at that. WAC, and so we'll go to the institutional transactions, and you can see we've had several institutional buyers there. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2 sales. So there's some good movement there. And I'm just looking at that as a possible entry criteria at 720 to a rally up to 957, and looking at a stop criteria of 662. That gives us a risk-reward ratio of 4-to-1. And I'll tell you one other stock that I'm watching closely today. We'll discuss it later. IMGN. Just going to throw it out there. Have a look at it on the hourly chart. What do you see? On the hourly chart, what do you see? I see a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern. So if we get a pullback to 750, 740, that could be a possible entry criteria. And if that then reverses and goes back down, then which obviously is up, then we could be looking at 920 at least. Now, when we have a look at the daily chart, that would bring us up to the 38.2 Fibonacci around 957. 920 was where the hourly chart suggested. But the potential is larger, so it could go to 920. The second target I'd be looking at is 1033. And so that actually gives from around 743 up, that gives about a 6.8 risk-reward ratio on the first one, and 11-to-1 risk-reward ratio on the second. And for this one, I look at the $9 July calls, which are only $1.30 at the moment. So that's your executive summary. If you are not a member of the executive summary. Make sure you check your email to try us for a full month for only $9. That is the best trade you'll probably ever make. And for only $9, go to the email, click sign up for trial. We will only be running this until the end of the week, and we will be then shutting it down. So don't miss out. Have an early Easter present and take advantage of the trial today. And we will be reviewing all of the market conditions, plus a lot of the exciting new plays that we're finding in our live training tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, which you will also get to be invited to every Tuesday, Thursday for the next month. So again, give the trial a shot. Just check your email for the link, and we'll see the rest of you in Trading Room tonight at 7 Eastern. Very happy trading. Take care, and good night. Good morning. Good morning. See ya. Bye.